Hey everyone, Matt the Movie Guy here. This week we are reviewing the new Christian movie from the same studio who brought us last year's God's Not Dead. The movie is Do You Believe? And we got a lot to talk about here, but I'm going to keep it as short as I can. Quick disclaimer, there will be spoilers in this video. It is, there's a lot that needs to be addressed here, and I have to spoil some of the movie to do so. If that's not your thing, go ahead and click out. Second disclaimer, everything I'm saying about this revolves around the movie. There's no judgments in here about God or Jesus or Christianity as a whole, but this movie has problems and we need to address them, and I don't want it to be confused that any of these problems are with Christianity itself. That said, let's go ahead and talk about this.
It doesn't mean to believe. It is forgiveness. It is redemption. It is unconditional love.
So, with the success of God's Not Dead, they were able to get their hands on some pretty good names. Sean Astin, Mira Sorvino, who, wow, I didn't even know she was still around. Sybil Shepherd, Lee Majors, Ted McGinley. Basically about half the cast of your average season of Dancing with the Stars. It's about 12 people whose paths intersect in terms of a number of crises of faith that they have. And there are some good ones here. There is a thug who is considering turning away from the criminal life in favor of being a follower of Christ. There's an elderly couple who lost their daughter a few years back to a drunk driver and have been grieving ever since, and their faith kind of helps them through it, which is really genuine. I've seen that kind of thing happen with people that I know, and when it happens, it's very deep and personal, and honestly, they could have made a whole movie about that. That would have been compelling. There's also a pregnant woman who's considering what she's going to do with her baby. And you think, oh, they're going to talk about abortion. But no, she's like 9 months in. She talks about how her stepmother wanted her to have an abortion, but she decided against it. And what was so refreshing about that in this movie is that it doesn't come from a belief in Jesus. It comes from her own personal decision that she felt it was wrong to abort her baby. Which, you know, props on that. I mean, that's really what it's about. It's the mother's choice. And it doesn't like beat into the head where it's like, well, Jesus is very happy that you kept the baby. Nothing like that. So very refreshing. That said, there's a lot of bad stuff in this. Namely 3 things that I really want to talk about, because this is your average Christian movie. This is decent. This is about as well acted as a Hallmark movie. It's about as well written as one too. But this movie is, but unlike most Hallmark movies that are average and forgettable, this one takes some extra steps in the name of Christianity that it really shouldn't have. Namely, we get the persecuted Christian routine again, and we get the evil atheists again. I've never seen an atheist complain about seeing somebody pray at a restaurant. I have never seen somebody gleefully talk about how they want to sue somebody for pushing their beliefs on them. And we get angry about it. And I'm very fortunate that of many of my Christian, of the people I know who are Christians, do not push that on me, and likewise, I do not push my religion on them. Because that's what it's all about, people. We need to stop with the idea that everybody who isn't a Christian hates Jesus. That's simply not the case. We just believe in something different. This one does it a little better. It's about an EMT who gives a man a cross and tells him to go with Jesus in his dying moments after he's been crushed by this giant metal tank. It's very similar to the scene at the end of God's Not Dead where the atheist professor is forcefully converted rather than the preacher call 911 to save him. So it's a little bit better than that, but not much because it basically plays like God's Not Dead in reverse. Guy tries to force somebody into Christianity and gets persecuted for it. And he's like, I can't. And what's great, what's absolutely great is that his superior basically tells him, like, just write in a letter of apology, we'll just sweep it all under the rug. I can't do that. That would be a betrayal to my religion. I would do the same thing to 100 men. No! No, you don't. You don't. What if you come up to because he asked the guy, it's like, do you believe in Jesus? And the guy's like, I don't know. If the guy says he doesn't know if he believes in Jesus, that is not an invitation for you to say, go with Christ. He will save you in his dying moments. That is blatant manipulation, and I'm sorry, you're kind of a horrible person if you would do that. I don't know anybody who would. It seems like these things only happen in these movies. But that's just one of the things. And it was done a little better than God's Not Dead, so it didn't bother me too much. But the absolute worst is that there is a character in this movie. His name is Joe, and he spends a lot of the movie basically being a guardian angel. There's this homeless woman and her daughter. He sleeps out on a park bench so that they can have his apartment for the night. He helps out at church. He helps the thug escape the police. Like, we see that, like, he is a completely self-sacrificial man. Who believes in doing the right thing. We've seen throughout the movie that he has been getting sicker and sicker, so of course we know there's something going on. It's revealed that he is a former prisoner who's been let out on compassion leave because he has stage 4 leukemia. And he's on his deathbed, and naturally he dies, because that's what happens when you have pneumonia due to complications of stage 4 leukemia. It doesn't end well. You would think that would be the end. This man gave everything that he did because he kind of made a lot of mistakes in life, and he wanted to do as good as he could with the time that he had left. But nope! Nope! After being pronounced dead for 8 minutes, he magically wakes up. And everybody's like, it's a miracle! It's a miracle! And I'm not saying that these things don't normally happen. But this is the real crux. The doctor comes in, he can't believe it, and he wants to run tests. And Joe says, you won't find anything, doctor. I've been given a second chance. They're implying that Jesus cured his leukemia. Fuck you, movie. On behalf of anyone and everyone who has lost a family member to a physical, cognitive, or medical ailment and did not get them back magically through the power of Jesus, fuck you. The implications of this scene are that Jesus' love is not equal. That if your loved one died and didn't come back, it's because Jesus didn't think that it was acceptable enough to give them a second chance. Fuck you, movie. That's the crux of this movie. This is basically a Hallmark movie with decent acting, mediocre to poor writing, that essentially wants to show you a bunch of scenarios in which Jesus can save you. Some of which are practical, but telling people that believing in Jesus will save them from cancer is wrong. It is manipulative. It is cruel. But this movie seems to have no qualms about that whatsoever. I'm not opposed of a happy ending. You could have shown them trying to resuscitate this guy, and then magically he comes back to life. Maybe he still has cancer, but maybe as a result of the test that they find a way that they can operate on him. Maybe they find a way to give him a second chance. But no, Jesus cures him. Fuck you, movie. So, I don't recommend this movie. Check it out if you're curious, because that's why I did. It's not as horribly offensive as God's Not Dead, but it's got a lot of problems that are still going in this burgeoning industry of Christian filmmaking. I know there's somebody out there who can tell a Christian movie without resulting to a lot of this. But we're just going to have to wait until that person is finally discovered. I'm Matt the Movie Guy. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.